Hello, grade sixes. I hope you had a good day and were able to get outside. Thank you to those of you who have sent me your picture. I'm still waiting because that is your mark for yesterday. And I thank those of you who sent them. They brought a big smile to my face and can't wait to see you tomorrow. We are going to get going with our chapter 2 of Edward Tulane. I hope you enjoyed chapter 1. If you recall, Edward was introduced as well as the family where he lived, and he lived with Abilene, her mom, her dad, and her grandma Pellegrina. And we left off the chapter with him lying in the bed staring at the stars all night until dark finally gave way to dawn. I'm going to pause and switch to the camera. So here's the beginning of chapter 2. For today, you again will have 5 questions. Question number 1. What does it look like Edward is wearing in this picture? We're assuming this is Abilene hugging Edward. What is he wearing? Okay, so take a guess. And in this manner, Edward's days passed one into the other. Nothing remarkable happened. Oh, there was the occasional small domestic drama. Once, while Abilene was at school, the neighbor's dog, a male brindled boxer, inexplicably named Rosie, the neighbor's dog, a male brindled boxer, inexplicably named Rosie, came into the house uninvited and unannounced and lifted his leg on the dining room table, spraying the white tablecloth with urine. So what's funny here is it's a male dog named Rosie, so they're kind of poking fun at that. He then trotted over and sniffed Edward, and before Edward even had time to consider the implications of being sniffed by a dog, he was in Rosie's mouth, and Rosie was shaking him back and forth vigorously, growling and drooling. Here's the illustration. Poor Edward. "Drop it," she shouted to Rosie, is what's written under the picture. Fortunately, Abilene's mother walked past the dining room and witnessed Edward's suffering. "Drop it," she shouted to Rosie. So that explains who said that. And Rosie, surprised into obedience, did as he was told. Edward's silk suit was stained with drool, and his head ached for several days afterward. But it was his ego that had suffered the most damage. Abilene's mother had referred to him as "it," and she was more outraged at the dog urine on her tablecloth than she was about the indignities that Edward had suffered at the jaws of Rosie. So question number 2, folks. What's the name of this dog? Name of the dog. And then there was the time that a maid, new to the Tulane household and eager to impress her employers with her diligence, came upon Edward sitting on his chair in the dining room. "What's this bunny doing here?" she said out loud. Edward did not care at all for the word bunny. He found it derogatory in the extreme. The maid bent over him and looked into his eyes. "Humph," she said. Sorry about that. "Humph," she said. She stood back up. She put her hands on her hips. "I reckon you're just like every other thing in this house, something needing to be cleaned and dusted." And so the maid vacuumed Edward Tulane. She sucked each of his long ears up the vacuum cleaner hose. She potted his clothes and beat his tail. She dusted his face with brutality and efficiency. And in her zeal to clean him, she vacuumed Edward's gold watch right off his lap. Oh no, The watch went into the maw of the vacuum cleaner with a distressing clank that the maid did not even seem to hear. Question number 3. What is the maw of the vacuum? Take a good guess. Give me a guess for what maw means. When she was done, she put the dining room chair back at the table, and uncertain about exactly where Edward belonged, she finally decided to shove him in among the dolls on the shelf in Abeline's bedroom. That's right, said the maid. There you go. She left Edward on the shelf at a most awkward and inhuman angle. His nose was actually touching his knees, and he waited there with the dolls twittering and giggling about him, like a flock of demented and unfriendly birds, until Abeline came home from school and found him missing, and ran from room to room, calling his name. Edward, she shouted. Oh, that wasn't a very good shout. Edward, she shouted. Edward! There was no way, of course, for him to let her know where he was. No way for him to answer her. He could only sit and wait. When Abeline found him, she held him close, so close that Edward could feel her heart beating, leaping almost out of her chest in its agitation. Edward, she said, oh, Edward, I love you. I never want you to be away from me. The rabbit, too, was experiencing a great emotion. But it was not love, it was annoyance that he had been so mightily inconvenienced, that he had been handled by the maid as cavalierly as an inanimate object. Sorry about that. A serving bowl, say, or a teapot. The only satisfaction to be had from the whole affair was that the new maid was dismissed immediately. Edward's pocket watch was located later deep within the bowels of the vacuum cleaner, dented but still in working condition. It was returned to him by Abeline's father, who presented it with a mocking bow. Sir Edward, he said, your timepiece, I believe. The Rosie affair and the vacuum cleaner incident, those were the great dramas of Edward's life until the night of Abeline's 11th birthday, when at the dinner table, as the cake was being served, the ship was mentioned. Alrighty, that's the end of chapter 2. Question 4 is, there's another name that was given to a pocket watch. What was the name that Abeline's father actually called the pocket watch? And number 5, what birthday has just been mentioned that Abeline will be having? Okay, so number 4 was, what does Abeline's father call the pocket watch? Number 5, what birthday is coming up for Abeline? Alrighty, guys and ladies, I hope you have a good morning, a good day after you listen to this, and remember to answer the questions in the private messages, comments, and don't forget to turn in. Very, very important. Okay. Good night, all. As you can tell, it's dark here. I did this in the evening. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Bye-bye.